What's up, gang? Okay, part 3 of my last story time, sight unseen. I'm gonna just get straight into it, y'all, and I promise y'all I'm gonna make this the last video because I got too much to tell y'all. Like, we need to move forward, period. Okay, so boom. After Sabrina gets back home from the pharmacy, she is now looking for Jan. She cannot find her anywhere. So at this point, Sabrina is panicking. She goes into her bathroom, y'all, and she stops dead in her mother freaking tracks. Do you hear me? Because at that point, Sabrina had found Jan floating in the bathtub, y'all. Floating in the bathtub. Mind y'all, Jan was only at the age of 1 year old. She found Jan floating in the bathtub, and at this point, she's unconscious and the tub is overflowed, and now the bathroom is flooding. So as the water touches Sabrina's feet and it begins to travel like into the hallway, she snatches Jan out of the tub immediately and starts doing CPR on Jan. So at this point, the CPR is not working. So Jan stops and then she goes into her house mom's room to try to get her help and let her know what's going on. So after getting the house mom, Sabrina and the house mom, they go back into the bathroom. They again try to do CPR on Jan. It is not working. So simultaneously, they are calling 911 to try to get as much help as they need at this point because now they're both in panic mode. So the police arrive first and then the EMT arrives. They immediately get Jan up, put her in a stretcher, take her into the ambulance, and take her to the nearest hospital. However, y'all, this is when everything takes a turn for the worst. So at this point, they're at the hospital, Sabrina and the house mom, and they're in the waiting room. About 2.5 hours later, the doctors come out and they inform them that Jan did not make it. They tried everything that they could and it just did not work. And Jan passed away at the age of 1, y'all. They also explained to them that Jan had absolutely zero brain activity, like she was a vegetable. And it was basically nothing that they could do at this point. So basically, Sabrina, she breaks down. She's going crazy. She's upset. The house mom is trying to console her, but in the same breath, it's like Sabrina is looking at the house mom sideways too, because baby, I left to go to the pharmacy. My baby was okay. I come back and my baby has passed away. So, she's in her feelings. She's grieving. She's trying to figure out, like, how did this happen? Because I know it wasn't me who did anything wrong. She also trusted the house mom, y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all why. That's because the house mom was Sabrina's real mother. It was her real mother. So the truth is coming out even more, y'all. Like everything that I told y'all in the beginning, now y'all seeing what the truth really was. Like, it gets crazy. So no, Sabrina did not bounce around from group home to group home, y'all. That was just the story in the beginning. The house mom was actually Sabrina's real mom. That was not her adopted mom. That was her real mom. She just was afraid to tell them the complete truth in the beginning. So she started off by telling Ann that she went from group home to group home too, when really she didn't. The house mom that was there was actually her mom. So following the investigation, the police immediately arrest Sabrina's mom, the house mom, the current house mom at that time, after finding out that after Sabrina had laid Jan down for a nap and went to the pharmacy, the mom got up because Jan kept crying. She woke up out of her nap and she was crying. The mom ran a bath for Jan, put her in the bathtub and left her there, started drinking, getting real drunk, and dozed off from being intoxicated and forgot to get Jan out of the bathtub. Jan accidentally cut the water on, ended up flooding the bathtub, and also ended up slipping and falling and drowning in the bathtub. And again, all of this is unbeknownst to Sabrina. She was not here when any of this happened, so that is why she didn't get any charges or get locked up. This also means that the locket that Ann and Jan had around their neck, it was a picture of this specific house mom. Because again, this was their maternal grandmother. So that locket that they had around their neck was a picture of this house mom. The same house mom that accidentally killed Jan. So after all of this happens, down the line, years later, Sabrina ended up taking over the home because they owned it. It was in the family. It was passed down from generations. They owned it. Sabrina ends up taking over the company and the house, and she now becomes the house mom years later when she becomes an adult. And then that's when all the other stuff happened, as far as everything that I was telling y'all in the beginning is now what it led up to, if that makes sense. So after explaining everything to Ann, she then begins to cry. She starts hyperventilating, y'all, because not only was she lied to, like, about her whole life and her whole entire existence, now she is realizing that she is literally sitting right in front of her biological mother this whole entire time. Like, how could you keep that from me and I'm still with you? Like, I'm with you now. How could you go so long without telling me that you're my real mom? And the whole time I'm thinking you're just the house mom, but you're actually my biological mother. And not only that, but my biological grandmother killed my twin sister. And I'm walking around with a locket of her around my neck. So Anne is walking around with the locket around her neck because she wanted to have some type of relativity and closeness to her biological family. And then Jan is walking around with the locket around her neck because this is the person that killed her and she could not cross over. And now she is trying to find ways to forgive this lady for doing what she did. So their reasons for having those lockets were two different reasons. Even though in the beginning Jan made it seem like the reasons were the same, that they both just wanted to have some type of closeness to their biological family, that was really not the reason for Jan. Like that is not really why she had that necklace around her neck for so long. It was actually like a reminder for her of what could have been and what tragically happened to her. So now they both have goosebumps and, they confused because Jan died in that home. Y'all get what I'm saying? So how the fuck was she seeing her? How the fuck was Anne seeing her? How was Sabrina seeing her? How were they having conversations with her? This also made Anne realize that she hadn't crossed over yet, like I said. So basically everything that Jan had told Anne about her life was literally like a mirror image of Anne's actual life, because Jan had died and she also wished that she could have lived the life that Anne lived. So for so long, she was just living vicariously through Anne because she died at a young age and she didn't get to live her life. So the story that she told Anne in the beginning was basically Anne's life, and Jan was living vicariously through her because she didn't get to live her life the way that she felt like she should have. She died at a young age. So Jan telling Anne that she was adopted into a loving family and all of that was really Anne's lifestyle. But Jan, again, was living vicariously through her. So she mirrored that lifestyle by saying that was what she did in her life. So after about 10 minutes, they realized that Jan has not came back yet. Of course, she couldn't because she was a fucking ghost. So they both jump up and run into the bathroom, y'all. And Jan is fucking gone. Like, she is nowhere to be found. The only thing that they did find was that same locket that Jan had around her neck on the bathroom sink. But Jan was the fuck gone. But now they looking at each other like, did they really see her? Was Jan really there? But the necklace was there to prove that Jan was really there. And she left it behind after Sabrina ended up telling the truth about everything, meaning that Jan was finally able to cross over now that Anne knew the truth about everything. So basically, Anne was covered by Jan. Like, Jan was almost like her protector, her guardian angel. And all she wanted was for Anne to find out what really happened and their real true life story. Like, she wanted Anne to know. So now that Anne knows, she has crossed over and she left the locket behind because that was her way of forgiving her grandmother for doing what she did to her. I know, y'all. This story had a lot of crazy plot twists and turns. I tried to tell y'all to keep up. It was crazy. Again, this was not my story. This is someone else's story that I am telling on my platform. I really hope you guys enjoyed it because it was crazy to me. And y'all know I got plenty more story times to come. They're not all going to be spooky. Some of them is just going to be crazy. I have a crazy life. I promise I do. My motherfucking life is a movie. I kid you not. But yeah, that's the end of the story, gang. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, I love y'all. Make sure y'all stop, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to go up there. I love you, gang, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.